A belief is just a thought that we think over and over again. And our beliefs are actually what's creating and manifesting our reality. And that's why affirmations are so powerful. Then why the heck aren't they working? So if you say your affirmation and you feel resistance when you're doing it, you might be counter manifesting. So in order for our affirmations to work, we must first release the need for the condition. I'm Sarah Stone Love. Welcome back to my channel. It's all about the science and psychology of manifesting. And today I am very excited because what I'm going to share with you today is rocking my whole world. It's making quantum leaps in my affirmations, getting rid of the resistance. And if it can do it for me, I know it can do it for you too. So I want to share with you some tips from this incredible book. You've probably heard of her, Louise Hay. She's absolutely phenomenal. This book's called You Can Heal Yourself. Louise Hay says that for every pattern that we find ourselves repeating, there's a need for us within it. It's something that Mandy Morris calls a perceived reward. We're actually holding on to these patterns unconsciously because there's a reward. And lots of times it comes down to safety and protection, not always. But for instance, my unworthiness. I've been working on releasing this and I've come a long way. A lot of the layers are gone. There's still some of it there. Why am I holding on to this? What's the perceived reward? And what I found for me is that it's fear of failure. If I have unworthiness in me, I procrastinate and I don't ever take the steps that could cause me to possibly fail. So it protects me from this fear of failure. So as soon as you bring this information to your conscious awareness, a lot of it dissipates. Louise Hay says that there must be a need within us for this condition or we wouldn't have it because our world is constantly reflecting our belief systems and our state of consciousness. So there's actually a need within us that correlates to the belief. The chronic physical pain that I've experienced, there's actually something within us that needs the alcohol, the cigarettes, the poverty. If you're feeling stuck, this is really going to help you. Louise Hay says to start affirming, I release the need for this condition. I'm willing to release the need for resistance. I'm willing to release the need to resist change. I'm willing to release the need to hold on to unworthiness. I am willing to release the pattern within me that's creating this condition. And the really cool thing is the second that you start affirming this, you stepped out of feeling like a victim. You're taking back your power by saying, I'm responsible for this. There's some kind of condition within me and I'm ready to release it. And sometimes the tricky part is you want to do it all without judging yourself, without blaming yourself or shaming yourself. Because remember, it's just a program. It's just a pattern that you're repeating from your parents usually, or caregivers. You can't blame them either because they were just repeating patterns they learned. This pattern was here on this earth before you were ever even born. You've just picked it up and carried it on. And the really cool part is by releasing the need for this condition, you are breaking generational patterns. You're changing your children's life and the people around you that you impact the most. You start responding different to people. You don't get as triggered. You're reacting different. You take control back over your life. And as you do that, it inspires others. If you're having a hard time letting go of the self-judgment, think of yourself as like a 3 or 4-year-old child. Would you be angry at that child because they're repeating habits or patterns that they picked up from home? No. You would want to send them love because you knew if you yelled at them, that would just make them shrink down and be scared. That's what happens when we start self-judging and belittling ourselves. It makes our subconscious clench up, hold tight, protect, put up walls. Whereas if we lovingly release these conditions and say, it's okay, I know that you're just repeating a pattern, this is not who you are, then your subconscious relaxes because love truly is the answer. Love is the answer, I'm convinced at this point in my journey, to everything in our lives. And the more love we pour into ourselves, the more safe we feel to release and let go of all of these conditions because we no longer need them. And one of the most beautiful things for me along this journey has been finding love, genuine love and gratitude for my unworthiness. Because I just realized that my whole life, I did this as a child to protect myself. Because I was so afraid of failure, that failure was wrong, that failure was bad, that failure meant I was stupid and rejected and alone. And the only way little me knew how to protect myself from that was building this belief system of unworthiness. It was always just there to protect me from failure. Because if I'm unworthy, then I never try and then I can't fail. And I just think that's so beautiful that I would go to such an extreme level to try to protect myself. To me is a beautiful thing. It was my way of loving myself. So I just tell my subconscious, thank you so much for holding on to this belief. But I'm all grown up now. Because remember, your subconscious doesn't know you've grown up. And it's no longer serving me. And I love you and I appreciate this part of me, this fractal of me. But I no longer need it. And I lovingly release it and let it go. And I can feel myself just relaxing into that. And Louise Hay goes on to say that sometimes when we start releasing these conditions within us, things start to get a whole lot worse before they get better. It's kind of like purging. Things start to get more extreme, more built up, more unworthiness, but I'm actually just facing it, recognizing it, accepting it, and letting it go. It's all part of the process. So if things begin to escalate and get worse, it's actually a good sign. It means our affirmations are working and we need to keep going. So try this exercise. Think about something that you want to change in your life and go to the mirror. So I'm going to do it right now with you and use my phone as a mirror. I now realize I've created this condition of unworthiness, and I'm now ready to release this pattern within my subconscious that's creating this condition. I am now willing to release the need for unworthiness. Now stop and ask yourself, do you really mean it? And be honest with yourself. And keep saying it out loud until you do. Sometimes fear starts to rise up. That's resistance, that's normal. Like, how can I make this commitment and if I don't really know how to do it? But we don't have to actually know the how. We don't have to know how to do it. We just have to be willing. Our subconscious will figure it out. The thoughts you are thinking and the words you are declaring are creating your future right now. So let's get started. Let's not wait. I'm Sarah Stone Love, and if you enjoyed the video, please let me know, subscribe, leave a comment. Join me every week. I'll be sharing more content on how to manifest your dreams.